Yeah, that's original. I'm here with Chris again. Chris, we last left off with some questions. What's going to happen to this thing? What's next? What's the plan? How much modification is, besides getting it on the road, and now you have it running, so how much modification are we doing to this Corvette?
Well, I got boxes of stuff from Carl, and we're gonna get it roadworthy first. So master cylinder is going to be first, water pump, and then I'm just going to clean up the engine compartment, get everything kind of dialed in. I think we've got a broken fan shroud, might have to address the fan, and then from there, moving forward, we've got calipers. He's got all brand new calipers, so we're going to swap all those out. He's got all new brake lines, and then he's got a power steering kit. So
interesting.
Yeah, so we got a power steering box, we've got a power steering pump, the hoses.
Do you know how hard that is to change out on a car that never had power steering?
Well, it's work. It's just replacing parts.
Okay.
And getting to that stuff, but they all bolt into the same places.
Okay.
There's a bracket, obviously, for the power steering pump, so I'll have to change some belts and put that in its current location.
Right.
And once all that's together, it should work just like anything else. So
okay.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. As far as difficulty goes, you got to take a whole bunch of it apart in the front to get the brackets and the power steering pump and get the lines hooked up. And so there's going to be some work involved.
Yeah.
But main goal, of course, is get it running so I can get it in and out of the garage. It's so hot here now. We're in the 113s to 117s. Right. So my time to work on it's a little bit limited. But once the weather cools down a little bit, we'll get on this. Carl also brought me a tire.
All right.
So we noticed up in front here, it's got quite a bit larger tire, all the way around actually. But looking at the car, that tire looks like it fits the rear really well.
Right.
Yeah, but the front, obviously, it looks a little big, and it is, and it's cracked the fiberglass on both sides right up underneath here.
Oh, right.
So Carl looked at tire sizes, and we did some research, and he picked this one. So we're going to test fit that.
Okay.
If that's going to work, and Carl hasn't decided if he wants to go with the same size front and rear. Okay. Or if we're just going to do fronts with the smaller sizes and stay with the larger in the rear. I think he's trying to figure out which one's going to look the best. In my opinion, I like to have a little bit larger tire in the back just because it fills the wheel well a little nicer.
Yeah.
And the smaller one in the front, I think, will give it a good balance. It might look a little off if we did the same size all the way around, but we'll see how it looks as we go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little research on these Corvettes because it almost feels like on this side, it's a little bit deceiving because there's a smaller than everything else tire on the back at the moment.
Carl told me he's got the original that comes on the back here, but he had that sitting in his garage. I'm not sure that's off of this car at all. We just needed it to roll it over here and get it on the trailer and stuff. Okay. So
interesting. Well, I guess that's part of the fun is you making slight modifications. Some of it's a testing situation, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
See how it goes. Man, I can't wait to see how this cleans up because it's so original looking, knowing it's just kind of dirty, but it's so original. It's quite a deal.
Yeah, and in the boxes too, I just noticed too, he's got a master cylinder, and I don't know if I mentioned that already, but a power brake booster as well. So
that's what I was going to ask you. You said master cylinder. I was going to ask you about the power booster.
I'm looking at it, and I know it's set up for it, but boy, that looks like a tight fit getting the booster in there. We'll see. We'll see how we're going to move that around.
Yeah.
If you remember when we did my Grand Sport, the way it had it had
an offset or something.
Yeah, it had the offset booster with the offset master cylinder. So, and this one's looks like it's got the same amount of room back underneath there. So, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe you can use move the washer bottle. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that ends up going.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Even with the manual brakes, there's a lot going on.
And I appreciate what Carl's doing. I mean, it's a little different as far as coming away from its originality, but you want it to be drivable and enjoyable. So you're going to be fighting the steering wheel and fighting the brakes everywhere you go.
Right.
So power steering, power brakes, not a bad idea. And he's going to keep all the old stuff. So at some point, if you need to, you can always go back to the original.
Yeah, bolt-on things are pretty. It's not a really big kind of you want to call it in car terms, a moral decision.
Yeah, yeah, right.
To make those kind of modifications, because
Yeah.
you can put it back.
And he intends to really use this car, I think, once we get it going for him this fall. You know, drive it, enjoy it, take it to some car shows, and you know, have the family share with him. And you want it to be drivable. You want it to feel good. You don't want to be fighting it, or you want to come home feeling like you had to battle the car all the way to back to the house. So
Right. There's certain cars, if you feel like you've been to the gym, maybe that's okay in some situations.
Yeah.
But that's not for everybody.
right. Yeah. Sometimes if you're just going to a car show once in a while and you're, you know, going to grab a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
it's fine to do something like that. But if you want to drive this more regularly, having those things are absolutely a bonus.
All right. Well, we're going to let you stay cool for the summer, and we'll check back with you in a little while.
Sounds great.
See how this goes. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.